Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon. We are back with another video. Today we're doing a price action update for SUI protocol. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin in the description of this video. Make sure to grab that down below and let's talk about SUI. Okay, first and foremost, looking at the chart here for SUI, we're currently sitting at $2.48. And the big thing that you're probably noticing on this chart is the massive wick that we had on Friday, October 10th, all the way down to this 60 cents area on this Binance specific chart. Now, the price of SUI did vary across multiple different centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges on that Friday, but this wick down to 60 cents and even below it here on Friday, the 10th of October, was not a pleasant day for anyone holding SUI. And again, what we're looking at here is the fact that price did manage to get all the way up to 258 to close that day. We are currently seeing this $2.42 area holding as support, going all the way back here on the chart to these lows we had in the middle of June. So that level is holding here for the past few days. It's been acting as support. If we are to break below this, you would have to think that next major level of support is going to come in here around $1.93. So I'm hoping we can hold this area and consolidate before moving a little bit higher. You know, a lot of that is going to be dependent on what Bitcoin is doing. We're currently seeing Bitcoin after breaking ever so slightly below the 200-day simple moving average. We're trying to get back above it. I think we need to see Bitcoin getting back above 108, 108.5 to kind of give more security there for altcoins across the board. But SUI sitting at $2.48 at the time of recording this specific video. Let's see what happens here in the short term. But zooming out here on the long-term chart, if we look at the weekly and what's been happening here, still not a bad looking chart. And, you know, technically speaking, we have had these lows all the way back in August of 2024. We had a nice big leg up here going into the new year. We haven't managed to get back to those kind of areas just yet. But currently we're seeing, prices at 248. We had lows all the way down here at $1.93, where that next level of major support comes in, technically a higher low than by the time we got to the middle of June, and then the same level holding here on the weekly for now. So we could put in an even higher low depending on where this weekly candle closes, which would mean that this trend is generally remaining intact with a nice series of higher lows. But we do still have about a day and a half before the close of this weekly candle at the time of me recording this specific video. So I would prefer to see that. Maybe even this double bottom pattern could help us actually move back towards the upside. I don't think the price action for SUI is dead and out of the water just yet for this particular cycle. And I'm going to be touching on some price targets here at the end of this video. But we do need to see us consolidating, getting back up above this 330 area where that 200-day simple moving average is going to now act as resistance once we do move up towards it. And so we are going to need to see SUI outperforming the rest of the market to move back towards those areas. Let's take a look at the SUI.D chart because, again, this is SUI dominance, and we can see that we've broken a pretty key long-term trend here. In the past few weeks, as we moved through September, we had this really nice, strong, intact uptrend for SUI dominance. What does this basically tell us? Well, it tells us that over the past year and a half to 2 years, SUI has been substantially outperforming the rest of the market with its market dominance increasing. With SUI dominance sitting at 0.25% right now, what that means is the market cap of SUI, which at this moment in time, if we check out CoinMarketCap, is right around the $9 billion area. SUI's market cap of $9 billion makes up about 0.25% of total crypto market cap. Okay, what we're seeing now is a retest of these lows and this level that held as support, again, going all the way back here to this low back in April of this year. We came down towards it here again in June, but we got support off of that trend line. We broke that trend line by the time we got to the end of September. And so we're retesting this key level of support around the 0.25% area. Of course, I would like to see this try and hold. Otherwise, we might have to come down towards 0.2 to 0.21% to have a retest of that area. But Let's see what happens. Of course, we're waiting to see what's happening with Bitcoin, and alts will follow in hot pursuit. Okay, the dominance level of SUI is another key variable in our price prediction equation. And so I'll be touching on that in a few minutes once again. The on chain technicals are still looking pretty good for SUI. If we jump over to the Artemis terminal here, we've got some of the major layer one blockchains, of course, SUI being one of them. I'm going to remove Solana and Ethereum from this list right now. We know that Solana is dominating daily transactions. We know that Ethereum is dominating stablecoin supply on chain. And so if I change this up here and we move towards showing the data by removing Solana and Ethereum as the two leading layer one solutions in this crypto blockchain space, we can see that SUI is actually performing quite well compared to other major competitors like Avalanche, Near, Polygon, Aptos, etc. You're looking at SUI doing daily transactions on average here between kind of 4 and 6 million every single day. It's consistently up the top of the charts here when we're excluding Solana and Ethereum. Certain days we're getting up towards that 6 million per day area. Again, stablecoin supply has been growing pretty nicely here on SUI since the beginning of the year. We've gone from about 220 million of stablecoin supply to over 848 million at the time of recording this video. So almost a 4x in terms of stablecoin supply being minted on the SUI blockchain. Again, stablecoin transfer volume, we're pretty much on top here as well. SUI doing somewhere in the region of, $5 to even $8 billion on certain days here, even as high as 13 to 14 billion. Even more recently as well. TVL on the chain, again, we've been seeing some nice consistent growth here, especially since the market ticked up in Q2 of 2025. We've grown from lows around 1.2 billion all the way up to this area of 2.3 and even getting as high as 2.6 billion in the past couple of weeks. DEX volumes, again, this is very healthy to see a nice, strong, steady uptrend with the amount of volumes happening on SUI native DEXs. Again, even as recently as August, down around 3 to 350 million, and in the past few weeks, closer to 800 to 1.2 billion on a daily basis. So these are the strong fundamentals I want to see with a layer one blockchain. We need to see adoption. We need to see stablecoin supply growing. We need to see transactions happening on a consistent basis. And all of the trends here are pointing up and to the right for the SUI network. Again, if I jump over to DeFi Llama and if we go into the chains area, we can compare chain over chain. Again, SUI is technically the 10th largest chain by total value locked in all of crypto DeFi, just under $2 billion of TVL. It has recently been surpassed by the likes of Hyperliquid and Plasma, newer comers to the scene. But jumping in to look at SUI more specifically, this growth trend in TVL, exactly what I want to see. Up and to the right, yes, there's periods of pullbacks. Yes, it's a little bit choppy, but generally speaking, even since the beginning of 2024, we're almost 10x in terms of total value locked on the SUI network, going from 200 million to just under $2 billion. So the trend overall is very much intact. Sometimes it's helpful to zoom out and look at the big picture here when we have periods of choppiness and volatility with regards to price action for the actual SUI token. Okay, last time I made a price prediction, guys, I did lay out a bear case, base case, and bull case scenario for my price targets for SUI by the peak of the cycle. Remember, the assumption here is that we're going to see a bear case total crypto market cap of 5 trillion, base case of 7 trillion, and bull case maybe even closer to $9 trillion for total crypto market cap. So that's the major assumption I'm baking into this equation. Again, bear case SUI dominance getting to 0.9% in a bear case, base case 1%, bull case 1.25%, which is still much less than half of what Solana got to in the previous cycle. That would get you to $12, $19, and even $31 respectively. I know that bull target, it seems very, very high. Even the base case might seem high to you given the current price action and the recent volatility of the pullback. But if total crypto market cap can really go towards $7 trillion, I do think this is a nice base case target for the SUI token. Again, it's been 6 to 8 weeks since I made this recent price prediction, guys. If you want me to drop an updated price prediction, because I do want to rework some of these numbers, drop a comment below this video. I will put together an updated price target video. I'll break it down. We'll tweak some of the assumptions, some of the variables, because we need to understand that SUI dominance has broken that downtrend, and we might need to tweak these dominance targets for SUI in a bear case, base case, and bull case scenario. Drop a comment below this video if you want me to put together an updated price target. That is it for today's SUI update, guys. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below. Let's do it right now, under my finger, right under it right now on the screen. Let's take 3 seconds, smash that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin. It is linked in the description waiting for you, and we'll catch you in the next one.